Hear ye, here comes the judge, Judge Dawson, the Yogi Judge, with another podcast aimed at giving you information and tools that you can use to just elevate your life and be the best that you can be. Now, if you've been listening to me, you know I don't hold you long because I know you have things to do. You're professionals, you're students, you're entrepreneurs, you're stay-at-home moms working harder than most of us work. Either way, there are things that you need to do. So I bring you these tidbits of wisdom that I've gained from being a judge for many, many years, a yoga teacher, a father, a husband, and just a man intentionally navigating life. So if there's anything that you hear that you like, make sure you share it. Make sure you go to my website, judgedawson.com. I have tons of tools and resources that you can use so that we can all be the best that we can be. All right, my message for you today, ladies and gentlemen, is that taking responsibility builds trust internally first. Taking responsibility builds trust internally first. Now, you may ask, Judge Dawson, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? See, oftentimes in life, because we're going to go through a lot of stuff, the first thing that we do is try to figure out why something happened to us, who did it, and what can be done differently, right? Instead of taking responsibility and trying to figure out what we did that may have caused the issue, the first thing we want to do is point the fingers, right? And that's natural because we are hardwired to defend ourselves physically, spiritually, and especially mentally. So what we normally do, ladies and gentlemen, is don't take responsibility. But when you take responsibility, you are building trust internally because you are now believing in your own ability to be great. Let me tell you how that applies to me, and maybe this will help you. There are so many things that I'd like to do as a judge, but I always, look at the obstacles sometimes. I'm just being honest. I'll say, well, you know what? I'm in a city that has a high poverty rate, or I have a lot of crime and repeat offenders coming in my courtroom, so I can't create this program because I can't get past this barrier. That's not taking responsibility. That's pointing the finger, right? So how will I trust myself in what I can do if I don't do that? So what I need to do instead is to say, you know what? What can I do to better serve my community? Because it's my responsibility as a judge to come up with these programs to serve my community. Now, that's just one example, right? Another example could be simply, an argument that you've had. You continue to have it out with your manager, with your spouse, with your children every morning before school. And you're saying, you know what? You need to do things better. You need to get dressed. You need to get your homework done. You need to give me better opportunities. But the question is, how can we take responsibility on our own? Because when you take responsibility, even if it's just 1%, you are taking ownership. And that ownership is the only thing that you can control. So when you take responsibility, now guess what? Every time you do it, you trust yourself more. You trust the process a little bit more. You trust your ability a little bit more. Internally, you are getting stronger and stronger because you are no longer relying on anyone else for your success. You're no longer relying on anyone else to relieve some of the pain that you're going through. You're not relying on anyone else to create an opportunity for you. You are doing it yourself because you're taking responsibility. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my short and sweet message for you today. Take responsibility so that you can begin to build trust internally first. All right, it's Judge Dawson. These podcasts, Here Comes the Judge, are aimed at giving you information that you can use, but go to my social media at Judge Dawson or judgedawson.com so we can be the best we can be. And until I see you again, namaste.